As we explained in our video a week ago, Republicans look likely to win the House at the midterms in November. As things stand, however, Democrats are odds-on favourites to keep a hold of the Senate, with 538 giving Democrats a 2 in 3 chance of winning at least 50 seats in the upper chamber come November. Nonetheless, with oil prices on the up and further Fed hikes looming, the economic headwinds aren't blowing in Biden's favour, and a Democrat victory is in no way guaranteed. In just the last couple of weeks, Democrats' lead in 8 of the 10 tightest races have narrowed significantly, and a Republican majority is no longer unthinkable. So, ahead of the midterms, we thought we'd take a look at the tightest Senate races, those which might determine who holds the balance of power in the Senate come November. We're going to start this series with Georgia, where Democrat Raphael Warnock currently holds a narrow lead over the controversial Herschel Walker. As you may have seen in our recent video, the US channel really needs your support. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment and share to give this channel a chance of surviving into the new year. Before we dive into the specifics of the race, a bit of background on Georgia. Georgia used to be a solidly red state, nestled in the deep south between Alabama and South Carolina. Since the 1980s, Georgia has reliably leaned Republican. Just to give you a sense of how Republican it's been, here's a quick list of presidential results since the turn of the millennium. In 2000, Bush won the state by 12 points. 2004, he won by a massive 17 points. In 2008, McCain beat Obama by 5 points. In 2012, Romney again beat Obama in the state by 8 points. And in 2016, Trump beat Clinton by 5 points. The tide finally turned in 2020, when Biden edged out Trump by about 12,000 votes, or less than 0.3% of the popular vote. While the Republicans were fighting about election fraud in the aftermath of the presidential election, Democrats Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff shocked political commentators by narrowly winning the 2 available Senate seats in Georgia, gifting Democrats a razor-thin majority in the Senate. Democrats' successes in 2020 demonstrate that Georgia has gone from a red state to more of a purple state in recent years. This is largely due to demographic shifts. Georgia has seen a significant influx of both African Americans, who are largely moving south from places like New York, Illinois and Michigan, and college graduates, many of whom are moving to Atlanta, which has recently become one of America's fastest growing cities. Obviously, both of these groups are more likely than average to vote Democrat, which is why the state has become more purple. Georgia's appeal to those groups stem from the fact that it has lower taxes and a more affordable standard of living than its better-known northern neighbours. Anyway, given their success in 2020 and Georgia's ever-improving demographics, Democrats were optimistic about holding on to the 1 Senate seat up for grabs this year. The race is between Democrat incumbent Raphael Warnock, who won his seat just 2 years ago, and Republican challenger Herschel Walker. Prior to his election, Warnock was a senior pastor at Ebenezer Church. Politically, he's probably on the left of the Democrat Party. He supports codifying a woman's right to an abortion in federal law, a $15 minimum wage, and he voted with Senators Bernie Sanders and Jon Ossoff in favour of expanding Medicare services to include dental, eyeglasses, and hearing aid coverage, something that every other senator voted against. Warnock has faced allegations of misusing campaign funds to fight a legal case relating to his time as a pastor, and a Republican attack ad using body cam footage from a dispute between Warnock and his now ex-wife during their divorce claimed that he hit her with his car, although it's worth saying that police at the scene found no evidence of violence. Herschel Walker was a decorated NFL running back who began his career at the University of Georgia. As well as American football, Walker also participated in a couple of mixed martial arts fights, the United States Olympic bobsleigh team, and even danced with the Fort Worth Ballet. From 2018 to 2020, he served on the President's Council on Sports, Fitness and Nutrition under Trump, who then supported him in the primary for the Republican nomination, which Walker won. Walker's politics are pretty standard for a pro-Trump Republican. He wants a total ban on abortion in Georgia, a wall on the southern border combined with tougher limits on immigration, and investment in American domestic energy infrastructure, specifically fracking. Interestingly, despite being personally endorsed by Trump, Walker has been reluctant to question the legitimacy of the 2020 election. Walker has questioned whether the US should be spending as much money as it is on Ukraine and has placed a big emphasis on mental health, something that Walker has personally struggled with. Now, for most of the campaign, Walker and Warnock were neck and neck. However, in the last couple of weeks, Warnock has pulled ahead slightly as Walker's campaign has been dogged by scandal. On October the 4th, the Daily Beast reported that, in 2009, Walker paid for his then-girlfriend to have an abortion. While Walker's campaign originally denied the story, it was apparently confirmed by Walker's son, Christian, who posted on Twitter saying that all of Walker's family knew about his past. This was quickly followed by another tweet accusing Walker of adultery and domestic violence, and then a video accused Walker of being an absent father. While it's pretty explosive, this shouldn't have come as much of a surprise to Walker's campaign. Walker has previously faced domestic violence and stalking allegations from multiple women, and a judge even granted a protective order to his ex-wife, noting that Walker posed a clear and present danger of family violence. Walker has not denied these incidents, and has instead chalked them up to dissociative identity disorder, which he has struggled with in the past. On top of this, Walker has allegedly lied about his CV, which is pretty silly given how impressive it is nonetheless. Walker claimed he graduated in the top 1% of his University of Georgia class, when he actually left in junior year to play professional football. Walker has a chance to rejuvenate his campaign on Friday evening, when he's due to take part in a debate against Warnock, but there are reasons for his campaign to be wary here. Walker hasn't fared particularly well in interviews so far, and his comments on specific policies have been, well, a bit confusing. Walker has claimed that, quote, bad air from China floats over to America, which renders air pollution measures meaningless. When asked about gun control in the aftermath of Uvalde, Walker's answer bordered on nonsensical.
Cain killed Abel, and that's the problem that we have. And I said, what we need to do is look into how we can stop those things. He talked about doing a disinformation. What about getting a department that can look at young men that's looking at women that's looking at just social media? What about doing that, looking into things like that, and we can stop that way?
Anyway, you get the point. Walker's media performances have been pretty questionable, so he'll have to pull something out of the bag on Friday night if he wants to win the debate. Nonetheless, the polls are close, and at the national level, momentum is definitely with the Republicans. So, despite his scandal, Walker still stands a very good chance of winning the race. So if you want to stay updated on all the twists and turns, make sure you subscribe to the channel. As we've mentioned before, the US channel has been struggling recently, and we're going to be covering a lot in the run-up to the midterms, so this would really help it survive into the next year.